Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, aka the Bod Father, and as always, I bring you guys awesome interviews. And today, it's an honor and privilege to have Roy, and I hope I pronounce his last name correctly. If not, he's gonna kick my ass. Mayorga, is that right or wrong?
It's Mayorga. You're
Mayorga.
right. You got it. Mayorga.
He's the drummer of the
Ding,
Mighty
ding, ding,
Stone
you win.
Sour, and they have a new album that's out right now called Hydrograd, and the new video that's out right now also called Rose Red Violent Blue. This song is dumb, and so am I. So you want to check that stuff out. So Roy, how's it going?
Great. Everything's great. How are you? How's it going with you?
Doing awesome. Glad to have you on the show, and plus have Stone Sour on the show. Finally, get you guys on here. I've been a big fan of you guys for a very, very long time, man. I really dig your guys' music.
And where are you located at?
I'm in Kentucky, actually.
Oh, awesome. We were just there.
I tell you what, 3 songs on this album that I'm really, really digging right now is The Witness, Trees, Knievel Has Landed, and Fabulous.
Oh, right on, man.
I absolutely dig these songs from you guys, so nice job on this new album from you all.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I want to touch on this just for a little bit, and then we'll move on to some questions here. It's good to see you behind the drum kit. How's your health so far, and how scary was it to go through your stroke ordeal? And did you think you would come back from it during that process was going on?
Honestly, no. I didn't think I'd be the same. As you know, it's pretty sudden. It happened. That whole episode happened in Des Moines after an hour after a show at Laserfest. I basically collapsed. I had no idea what was wrong with me, and went to the hospital. And then, of course, they did all tests on me, and then they came at me with that I had stroke. And stroke, actually, it was more of from a neck injury from years of headbanging. I just did it at the right place, the right time, and it basically just destroyed my arteries in my neck and cut off all blood and clotted in right before hitting my brain. So luckily that happened. If it would have happened inside my brain, I'd probably be more fucked. But what came out of that, I did not have much mobility on my left. I couldn't feel parts of my left side. I had no balance. I was like that for a good five months. I was put on all the proper meds like blood thinners and stuff. Pretty much scared to make any kind of sudden movement because I would have internal bleeding. I didn't even want to play drums. It took me a while to get back on my kit to have confidence for it. So I basically, after I got the green light of everything was okay from my doctor, I started playing drums again. Did about a good month of therapy on drums, and of course I set my kit up a little bit differently. I had to sit a little higher and not be so down and use my shoulders so much, like reaching over my head to hit cymbals. That was the cause of what happened to me. So I was with my doctor. He's telling me, like, you should sit up this way, sit up a little bit taller, sit a little bit straighter. And, everything worked out great after that. And then I just kept learning how to, play that way. And then I went into the studio for 2-3 months and recorded House Called Bones. Yeah, I didn't play for months before that. So, yeah, it was definitely a scary time, man. Not to mention, I was an expected father when all that happened, so I was double stressed out on that.
Jeez.
So luckily, by the time my daughter was born, I was actually already on the mend, and I was already starting to drive because I was 3 months prior. My daughter was born 3 months after that happened to me, so I was already halfway through. Yeah, I did a lot of things in between that. Like I did a lot of acupuncture just to get my nerves mended back together because for a couple of years I still had tingling sensation and no feeling on my left side. But now I'm like 100%. The doctor said it would take a couple of years for your nerves to mend back because I did nerve damage on that side of my neck too. I severed a bunch of nerves because your body's wired backwards. So anything happens to you on the right, especially up in your spine area,
Right.
It affects your left and vice versa. So that's what happened to me.
It's so crazy just from headbanging that happened. I was like, holy crap, man! It's thank God you're back on the drums.
I advise any musician to stop that because it will catch up to you. By then I was already 41 when that happened, so like usually after 40 you got to kind of take it easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was my body basically telling me, hey, take it easy.
Well, seriously though, man. Thank God. Seriously though, thank God you're back on the kit. That's for sure.
Yeah, I do, man. I totally thank the universe for all of that, man. Yeah, very grateful.
What's impressed you the most about making the new album Hydrograd? What's caught your eye about it, if anything at all?
Well, the thing that I would say impressed, but I think the thing that excited me about the record is the fact that we as a band got together and recorded all these songs live in the studio together at the same time as opposed to separately as we used to. This record definitely separates from the rest of the records we made because of that. And we played to no click track. We all played to each other, like pushed and pulled the songs as they're supposed to be, as a rock band should record in my eyes. You know what I mean? It works for some bands that way. Maybe some bands it doesn't. The other way we were doing it didn't really work for us. I thought it made our songs sound too sterile. But then when we go play it live, it's a whole different game. So getting to record this record in this fashion, I feel translates even more and better live when we go to play live out front. So you get the sound of that record, but just more on fire. You know what I mean? So there's no surprises really except for that. But I'm pretty impressed with that, man. I'm very definitely very excited that we got to make the record that way.
Would you like to do it more the way you guys just did this one?
I think we're probably definitely going to continue to do it this way because that's just how it just works best for the band. You know what I mean? It's just we all like to play together. You know what I mean? We did it this way in my studio when we demoed, and I think that's what inspired us to do the record this way. So yeah, we're definitely going to record like this from here on in. You know what I mean?
Did Jay Rustin produce this album? Is that correct?
He did. Well, we all produced it. Jay also, was producing with us as well. But what he did for us, he basically let us do our thing and then weighed in when he thinks he should weigh in. Mm-hmm. And he's amazing. I mean, the fact that he entertained all our ideas, he gives every idea 10 minutes. His rule is every idea in the studio gets 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. That to me is amazing. Rustin is definitely probably one of the best producers, to this day I've ever worked with. He's a great engineer. He's got a great ear. He really knows how to. He really lets you do your thing, and he really helps when you need the help. You know what I mean? He's great.
I know these songs are like your guys' babies and everything, but are there any songs off this album that stand out more to you right now, Roy, if possible?
For me, at the moment, stands out. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say because I really like all the songs on the record. I mean, they all stand out to me differently. You know what I mean? There's so many different ebbs and flows on this record. It's hard for me to really pinpoint one song that really stands out. I love all of them, I really do.
I know you guys took it a different way in the recording studio this time, but do you guys do anything differently, though, to help keep your minds open and fresh, to not let the music get stale while you guys are recording?
Yeah, don't beat them to death before you go in the studio. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What? Because a lot of people do that. Like, it'll take like a month or 2 months, like doing pre-production. By the time they get into the studio to record, it's all just the life is gone because the band's probably just internally sick of playing them. You know what I mean? That's happened to us. But with these songs, we would write like a batch of 5 at a time. Like every few months, we'd come out with a batch of 5 and live with it for a bit and not play them, but just record them and play them, and then Corey will come in like on his breaks while he's out with Slipknot and sing on it, and then we just live with it for a while. Then we work on another batch of songs, and so on and so on. And by the time the end of the year comes and we're about to enter the studio, we booked like 3 days before the studio and just jammed all those songs that way, kind of off the cuff, made it more fresh and exciting off the cuff like that. So by the time we got in the studio, we still had that freshness, but we had that whole time listening to these songs that we recorded. It just gave us the the momentum. You know what I mean?
How much musical growth have you seen this band go through from album to album, or has it just been more of a personal growth for each of you guys?
I mean, definitely. I mean, it's definitely grown into a whole other new animal now that we have 2 new members in the band. So I mean, the sound has definitely changed over the years. And it's drastically changed, now. I mean, it's gotten more melodic as the years gone by. That's what I think. I mean, by the time I got on the band, the second record, I joined the band during Coming Over May. That was a little bit more melodic and darker sounding. And then the next album was a little bit more, I hate to say it, but a little more poppier sounding. Mm-hmm. And then House of Golden Bones, I think that's when the band really started to meld together now. And now this record, it's a whole other different animal, and I think it's definitely glued together fine now.
What can fans expect at a show from the Mighty Stone Sour who have not got to see you guys live as of yet?
Well, expect a good show. I don't know. I mean, just come and find out for yourselves,
Support-wise, is there a country or a region that stands out more or surprises you that you guys get support from that area?
definitely we have a really great reaction in Australia and Japan. We just found that out like not long ago. It was a really surprise. I mean, we've played those regions before, and those shows are always great. But this time around, we're playing like bigger rooms, more people, and people were just really on fire for the band. You know, people singing along to every song so loud. It was fucking amazing. Really looking forward to going to Europe and England and Russia in the next week. See what that's going to be like. I already heard that like 8 or 9 shows are already sold out in Europe, which is we've never had that happen before we get to a tour in Europe, because usually it's all walk-ups there.
Mm-hmm.
No one does pre-sales like numbers like that really. We haven't, at least. So that was definitely a surprise. So I'm looking forward definitely to seeing how this is gonna go. So yeah.
We're living in the digital era right now of recording albums and plus social media. Do you like this that we're in right now with the digital era, plus getting music out there quicker for bands as of right now?
Well, yeah. I mean, it works. I think it works. It has its place. I think now it's starting to pan out a little bit better. The bands that are already established are starting to get recognized more and getting what they deserve from the streams, and I think it's great for the smaller bands that are just getting up there too. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I also love the fact that vinyl is coming back, because I love the sound of vinyl more. Streaming is good. If you're out on the road, obviously you don't have a record player, you want to hear stuff. Yeah, it's great. I love Spotify. It's awesome. And you could do your own playlist. I mean, anything you want to hear right in there, it's right there. It's fucking great. But me as an old schooler, I love vinyl, and I'm so happy that's come back. And I really like the sound of vinyl. Just something about the drums and the guitars, just crunch more on it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So if I had my choice, when I'm home, I listen to just vinyl. I'll buy old and new stuff. You know what I mean? I've already rebought everything that I've owned in the past that I've lost so far, and I've bought a lot of stuff that I've never had before, like old 70s rock records and shit that I grew up listening to that sound great. They're mastered on analog gear back then, so they had a certain warmth and crunch to it that you don't really get off of a CD or anything like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of young folks I've talked to here lately that's starting to dig vinyl a lot, so I think that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, there's people that are our age and are now working in the industry, I guess, that grew up with records through their parents that are probably responsible for bringing it back in. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So good for them.
Roy, in your own opinion, man, what does Stone Sour bring to the table for music that's not out there as of right now, if anything?
I like to say, I don't want to discredit anybody else, but at least for us, I feel we're bringing something honest, something raw, something with a lot of energy. Yeah,
What made you want to become a musician? What was that spark for you that said, yeah, that's what I want to do right there?
I would say that was more of an instinctual thing. I would definitely think I give my mom credit for noticing that in me before I even knew what the hell I was doing.
Yeah.
I would say I was like a kid, just a little kid playing, on my bed and taking dowels that weren't even drumsticks and just beating the shit out of pans and the bed, the box. So she knew I was going to be a drummer before I even knew. And then, slowly started throwing more percussive things in front of me, like a toy snare drum. And she got me a toy drum kit. And once I saw what a drummer is, I saw a drummer on TV. I'm like, well, that's kind of like what I'm doing. I want to be that. And that drummer that's on TV was Buddy Rich.
Oh, wow.
As a kid, I'm like, blew me the fuck away. And he's still my all-time favorite drummer. And then, of course, seeing Zeppelin for the first time on TV and seeing Kiss and AC/DC, all these bands, I'm like, okay, I want to be this. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. So I just stuck with it, grinded with it until I got to where I'm now, man. A lot of ups and downs, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. I started my own band when I was about 14, 15, a punk band, toured, this goes a long time ago, cut my teeth that way and then just kind of progressed from there,
Here's the $1 million question, Roy. If you could work with any musician, dead or alive, today, who would it be?
Jimmy Page.
Jimmy Page.
That's it. Yep. I didn't let you finish. I already knew. Jimmy Page.
What's it mean
to
you?
You where my head's at.
No, you're fine, man. You're totally fine. I think Jimmy Page is one hell of a musician.
He's my favorite guitar player. I love him.
His guitar playing is just phenomenally great, honestly.
And so was his drummer. Rest in peace, John Bonham.
Yep. Crazy John Bombs, I call him. He's all over the place on that damn thing.
He's a motherfucker, man. He's one of the best drummers out there, man. Was one of the best drummers out there. He's a king, dude. Legend.
I'm sure you guys get this a lot. What's it mean to you when you guys receive an email from a fan, or prior to the shows or after the shows, they tell you that Stone Sour's music has pulled them through a bad experience or gave them inspiration to overcome obstacles, or just, let them get away for a couple of hours listening to you guys' music of the everyday bullshit that we go through? What's that mean to you guys?
I mean, that's huge. I mean, I've been there. I've been in that same position. Like we all do. We all go through a little bit of depression here and there. And what's the first thing that we use to medicate with? Music. What's the first thing that puts us back together? Sometimes music. So to hear that from a fan, to tell me that means a lot, because, and I would tell him, actually, what Corey would even say, like, hey, look, man, I know that he's like, your music got me through this and and saved me and saved my life. And Corey would say the coolest thing to this person. He'd be like, look, man, you did all the work, you did all the work getting yourself back up. I was just in the background, and thanks for telling me that. And that's me. Give the guy a hug and, say it's fucking amazing. You're amazing. It means a lot, man. Definitely takes me back when I hear that, and I do tear up a little bit when I run into that. It's special,
And I just got to say, I've been a huge fan of you guys for a very long time, so thank you guys for what you're doing, and continue to keep on putting great stuff out, man.
I appreciate it, man. It was really good talking to you, man.
How can folks stay in touch with you guys, buy some merchandise, tour dates, things like that? How can they do that, Roy?
StoneSour.com.
Before I let you go, would you care to do a promo for the show?
Sure. Hi, everyone. This is Roy Mayorga, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great music coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and Uber City Radio. Thank you so much, Roy.
I don't know, man. Thank you.
Now you're the